Hi, welcome back to my channel once again. In this video I'm going to be teaching how to cut and sew this two-piece. I already have a video of the skirt on my channel. Today I'm going to be teaching how to make the sleeves and then the blouse itself. So if you are interested in it, kindly watch till the end and let's get started. These are the items I'm going to be using, or materials I'm going to be using for the tutorials. I'm going to be cutting on the white or lining fabric. This is because it's visible compared to the African print. So I went ahead to mark 1 inch down from the upper part of the fabric, and then I'll connect the lines with my ruler. This is just to serve as a guideline for the pattern. So after ruling my line, I'll go ahead and then mark my shoulder to bust measurement, which is 10 inches. So I'm going to be marking 10 inches at that point and at the end of the fabric, then connect with my ruler. So now we have our shoulder line and then our bust line, and from there I'm going to be marking from the shoulder to the waist measurement. So wherever you want the blouse to end, you decide it yourself. I am using about 19 inches. So whatever you want or how long you want your blouse to be, just go ahead and then mark from the shoulder to the waist. So now at this point, I'll go ahead and then mark my neck width and then my neck depth. So I'm using about 3.5 for the neck width, and then the neck depth I'm using 4 inches. That is for the front. Note we are working on the front pattern. So I'll go ahead and then repeat the same 3.5 and then connect with my ruler before curving the line to get the shape of the neck. So from that point, I'll go in by 1 inch and then connect to both lines. So just like that, you can use your French curve if you have one for the neck. So after that, I'll go ahead and then measure my shoulder. My shoulder is 15 divided by 2 is 7.5. So from the center front, I'll go ahead and then mark my 7.5 over there. And then from that same point, I'll drop it by 1 inch to get the shoulder slant. So after marking my 1 inch, just go ahead and then connect with my ruler to get the slant. Now from this point, I'll go ahead and then mark the armhole depth, which is 9 inches. It is gotten by dividing the bust by 6 plus 1.5 inches. So whatever you get, that will be your armhole depth. So from that point, I'll just go ahead and then make a straight line to the bust line, as you can see. Now from this center front, I'll go in and then mark my bust measurement. So whatever you get for your bust, just divide it by 4, and whatever you get for the waist, divide by 4 and then just insert it. So whatever I got for the bust, I'll go ahead and then subtract about 1 or 2 inches from it. This solely depends on you, how fitting or loose you want your blouse to be. Just go ahead and then do that. After marking the waist and bust, I'll just go ahead and then connect with my ruler. Now at that intersection, I'll go ahead and then mark 1 inch and then connect from the bust through to that armhole line. So to get the armhole curve for the front, I'll go ahead and then divide that line into 2. We had 9 inches, so 9 divided by 2 is 4.5, and from that 4.5 I'll go in by ½ inch. So after getting my ½ inch, I'll connect from that armhole through to that ½ inch to the shoulder line. This is for the front. Note the back is different from the front. The front is a bit curvier than the back. So now I'll go ahead and then add my seam allowances. I'm adding 1.5. You can add from 1 to 1.5 inches, whatever works for you. Just go ahead and then mark. And at the hem, I'll go ahead and then add 1 inch seam allowance for folding. So at this point, I'm done with the front, and then I'll go ahead and then cut out. So while cutting out at the armhole, I'll go ahead and then add half-inch seam allowance. At the shoulder, I'll add half-inch as well, as you can see me doing. So this is what I have for the front, and I'll go ahead and work on the back. So just fold the fabric into 2 like I've done, and then place the front on it. So at the center back, I'll go ahead and then mark 1 inch. You can decide to make it 1.5 for zip extension. So after marking, just go ahead and connect with your ruler like I'm doing. Now place the front on that line, exactly on the line, and then cut out. So before cutting, I'm going to be marking 3.5 for the neck depth of the back. You can make it 3. It all depends on what you want. Note the front was 4.5 and then the back is 3.5. And then the neck width should be the same. So at this point, I'm done with both front and then back. So after getting this, I'll go ahead and then cut the armhole of the front. I told you the armhole for the front is curvier than the back. So I'll just shape it here with the seam allowance, as you can see. So this is what I have for both front and back. So I went ahead to cut the same thing on the fashion fabric, as you can see. So after cutting it out, this is what I have. I'll go ahead and then place the lining on the fashion fabric with right sides facing each other on both front and back. Then I went ahead to join the necklines. After joining the necklines, just trim or make notches at the neck to be able to turn with ease. The notch or pin is very important, so just go ahead and then do that for both front and back. So after that, I'll go ahead and join the shoulders together. I'll be matching the fashion fabrics together with right sides facing each other, and then I'll be matching the lining fabrics together with right side facing each other as well. So I'm doing this for both sides of the sleeve. Then I'll take it to the machine and stitch. After stitching, this is what I have. I'll turn it out for you to see the outcome. So after turning it, this is how it looks like. Now I'll go ahead and then insert my side seam measurements. Remember I added 1.5 inches. I'll go ahead and then insert it on both sides. Then join the front and then back pieces together. So before stitching, make sure you pin them together in order for them to be the same. You don't have to let the lining be longer than the fashion fabric, or the fashion fabric be longer than the lining. So just take your time and then pin before stitching. After stitching the side seam, this is what I have. I'll now go ahead and then fold the 1 inch I added to the hem in and then stitch. So whatever I added to the hem, just go ahead, fold it in and stitch. At this point, I'm done with the front and back of the dress, and then I'll go ahead and work on the sleeve and then the zipper for the back. I just folded a fabric into two like this, and then hold the lower part of the fabric just like I've done, and then fold it on top of it like this. So after that, measure the length of your armhole at any point. So wherever the length will be able to be marked, just mark it there. From there, I'll come down by 5 inches. So just mark 5 inches from the tip of the sleeve down. After marking the 5 inches, connect with your ruler. So I realized it wasn't that clear, the explanation. So just fold it into two like this, and at any point, just measure your armhole depth at any point. So just place the tape measure on like I'm doing. So whatever your armhole is, just mark it at that point and then connect with your ruler. Now from that point, go ahead and then mark the length of your sleeve. So however you want your sleeve to be, the length of your sleeve to be, just go ahead and then mark. So after marking, I'll just go ahead and then connect with my ruler. But before that, make sure you stand at every point of the sleeve, or that 5 inches we mark down, and then mark the length of your sleeve in order to get a straight or an accurate shape. If you measure at one point, you might not get the same length at the other side of the sleeve. So just go ahead and then mark like I'm taking my time to do. Mark the length of your sleeve at any point as I am doing. After that, just go ahead and then connect with your chalk or marker, whatever you are using to work. So from there, I'll go ahead and then mark the 5 inches I said earlier. So just stand at every point of the armhole and then mark. The height of the sleeve or the tip of the sleeve, and then mark. After that, just connect with your ruler. So from there, I'll go ahead and then insert the armhole measurement. So after measuring your armhole, whatever you get, just go ahead and then mark it over there. So now from that point, I'll go ahead and then shape the sleeve, the armhole of the sleeve. So just shape it like I have done. And from there, I'll go ahead and then measure and see if the size is the same as my armhole. So wherever you reach and then get your armhole, just mark. From there, you can decide to make your sleeve as wide as you want. So wherever you stand from the center front of the sleeve, just go ahead and then mark. So you can mark about 15 or 20 inches. That is the size of the sleeve. However you want it, just go ahead and then mark. So at this point, I'm done with that, and then I'll go ahead and then cut out. So just like that. Remember, I added seam allowances to the sleeve. So after getting the size and then the armhole, you can add about 1 or half inches to it, and then just sew it. So after cutting out the sleeve, there will be excess, or there will be a shortage of fabric at the other end of the sleeve. I'll just go ahead and then open it up and show you what to do. So like I said, at the other end of the sleeve, there is a little bit of shortage over there. just go ahead and then place a fabric there and then it join it to the sleeve and stitch. So this is how I'm doing it. Just open it up with right side facing each other, just pin them together as I am doing. We are doing this on both sleeves, so you pin them together and then stitch. After stitching, this is what I have. So just place it on top of the other one, or fold the sleeve into two and then just trim it off. So trim the excess off like I am doing, and from there we can work on the hem and then side seams of the sleeve. So I'll go ahead and then mark my 1 inch seam allowance at the side seam of the sleeve, and then I'll go ahead and then fold 1 inch in as well. So after sewing the side seam and then the hem of the sleeve, this is what I have. I'll go ahead and then fix it to the blouse. So to fix the sleeve to the blouse, just make a notch at the center of the sleeve and then just pin it together with right sides facing each other. Note, wherever you made the notch should start at the seam of the shoulder, so the shoulder seam should be joined to the notched part of the sleeve. So after that, I'll just go ahead and then pin, take it to the machine and stitch. After stitching, this is what I have. I'll go ahead and then fix my sleeve. After fixing the zip, the sleeve, just go ahead and then fix your zip, and that will be all for the tutorials. Thanks for watching. See you another day. Bye.